Hey guys, what's happening? I know this video is late, and I do apologize about that. And on with the show. The Anaheim show for the Dial-Up Tour took place at the Anaheim House of Blues. Those of you not familiar with the Anaheim House of Blues, it's in downtown Disney. Disneyland! Disneyland! Yeah! I get to the parking lot at 10 in the morning. When I got my parking stub for downtown Disney, it read that the first 3 hours were for free, and for every hour afterwards would be $6, calculated based on 20-minute increments. By the time I did leave the show at about 4:30 in the afternoon, they only charged me $24 altogether. Go to the ticket booth, pick up my ticket, pick up my meet and greet pass, yeah. Shortly after I picked up all that stuff, it was my first real-life encounter with Wolf Dude. It was just really cool meeting up with another YouTuber in real life for the first time. He gets his ticket, he gets his meet and greet pass. We're just chilling out in front of the ticket booth now, trying to figure out what to do next. The show itself isn't supposed to start until noon. As we're discussing things, trying to figure out what we're gonna do to kill time, I see out the corner of my eye this brilliant flash of orange hair. I realized it was none other than Mika Kitty herself, along with Nana Lou, Jason Monday, and Alex Carpenter. Wolf Dude was right there with me. We're just all, oh my god. Now, for those of you who know me personally, you know I have a tendency to exaggerate certain reactions. In this case, it was no different. I was shaking uncontrollably, clutching my chest as if my heart was exploding, and all around just being me. Wolf Dude and I are still freaking out. We look over at all the other people waiting in line, and there's no reaction from them at all. Majority of these people waiting in line were female. We came to the conclusion that at least 50% of them were just here to see Live Lava Live. Me being the nice guy that I am, I had brought presents for Tessa and Shauna. I bought them each a Valentine's Day sugar-free trio from See's Candy, and I was carrying it around in this Trader Joe's bag. So as we're being herded into the House of Blues itself, one of the handles breaks off. So now at this point, instead of carrying the bag by both handles, I'm holding the bag from the bottom. By the end of the show, I'm still holding this bag of candy, and my arms are just shaking and dead. Another thing that happened as we were herded into the venue, Wolf Dude lost his ticket. The staff at the House of Blues actually found a ticket on the ground. Since no one else had claimed it yet, they just gave it to him. Them finding Wolf Dude's ticket probably was the most decent thing that the House of Blues staff did that entire day. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If we make a beeline for the merchandising booth. So I decided to purchase Mika Kitty and Nana Lou's album, Days of. And Wolf Dude decides to grab himself a t-shirt. Now at this point, we're just all really waiting around for the show to start. In all the hubbub, Mika Kitty herself actually crawls out on stage, then crawls back off stage. In that brief moment, it's just stunned silence. And as soon as she was off stage, the crowd's excitement for the show had been reignited. Before we knew it, the show had begun! Now, a lot of the acts that happened during the show, you can find already on YouTube. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be covering the details that stuck out the most in my mind. Act 1. Olin Rogers. So many poop stories. Okay, it wasn't that many poop stories. Then came the time for Olin Rogers' audience participation stories. It was pretty disturbing what this audience member had to say. This guy proceeds to tell his story about the time he pooped in a porta potty, and then when he was finished, the poop was sticking straight out of the toilet. And as soon as Owen heard that, his jaw dropped. It was like a collective jaw dropping in the entire venue. Act 2. Nana Kitty activated. Due to some technical difficulties, start of their act was delayed. They managed to stall and ad-lib to the audience with such style and aplomb. Yeah, I said aplomb. That it was just so elegant and nicely done. Now, as the only female act of the tour, they had to keep things classy by actually undressing on stage. Nana Lou made the joke that she likes to undress to the Pink Panther theme, so she tried to get the audience to do that for her. It was the worst rendition of the Pink Panther theme I had ever heard in my life. Act 3. Live Lava Live. So our earlier hypothesis about how the majority of female audience members were just there for Live Lava Live more than confirmed at this point. Like, the instant they walked out on stage, the uproar from all the females in the House of Blues was absolutely deafening. And when they started asking for participants from the audience, the reaction from all the females possibly trumped their reaction from when Mitchell and Kyle first appeared on stage. And the lucky girl who ended up sharing the stage with Mitchell and Kyle, she could not have been older than 9 years old. Oh, so sweet, so nervous to be on stage. It's quite a shame, really, that she ends up killing Kyle in their skit. They're driving, they get into an accident, Kyle is in the hospital, and the little girl is playing his heart monitor. And she keeps up the act for maybe 2 minutes at best, before just going completely quiet. So needless to say, Kyle dies in the skit. That little girl must have just felt mortified afterwards. Act 4. Alex Carpenter and Jason Monday. They sang songs about Alice in Wonderland, Doctor Who, Star Wars, finding love on the internet, which I can personally relate to, and the greatness is living in Southern California. And their closing number? The Bacon Song with Mika Kitty. I actually have footage of them performing the Bacon Song, which I will post at the end of this video. So now that the show itself is over with, it's time to move on to the best part of the tour itself. The meet and greet. This particular meet and greet session differed from past shows because those took place before the show. For reasons undefined, this one took place afterwards, but I do suspect it has something to do with this particular House of Blues. It was around 2 p.m. as we're standing in line waiting to meet the performers. I'm tired from being on my feet for the entire show, and my arms are crying out in pain because I'm still holding the bag of See's candy by the bottom. But none of this is getting to me because I am so close to finally meeting Tessa and Sean in person. It's only when the staff of the House of Blues started interjecting that I actually became annoyed. The staff instructed that no pictures or videos were to be taken when meeting with the performers, quote, to help speed things along. And there was maybe a handful of people left in front of me when the staff announced that there was only 3 minutes left of the meet and greet session, which definitely pissed off a lot of people because there were about 24 left behind me in line. I still remained optimistic throughout all this because at this point I could clearly see Tessa and her vibrant hair from where I was standing. Before I know it, I am finally standing in front of Mika Kitty. Here's how I remember our first conversation going. Hi! Hi. I'm Tessa. What I wanted to say at this point was, I've seen all your videos on YouTube and I think they are absolutely fantastic, just like you are. What I actually ended up saying was more like this. Hi Tessa, I'm Eric. Now at this point she's noticing the bag in my hand. Ooh, are those presents? And it's at that moment that I regain lucidity of the entire situation. So I reach into my bag, grab the set of chocolates I had ready for her, hand it to her. These are for you. She's quick to inquire, is that candy? No, they're not. These are sugar-free chocolates. And her face just lights up in elation. You know me! As she pulls me in for a hug. When Mika Kitty wants to give you a hug, you do not refuse her. Ever. I could feel myself melting in her arms. Her body just radiated with her warmth and kindness. I felt so safe and appreciated in those arms, almost like I was home. That came off far creepier than I had intended, and for that I apologize. Yes, there is a possibility that I am remembering all of this completely wrong. Maybe I was too starstruck to remember things properly. I am only human, technically. But the rest of the meet and greet moments is still kind of a blur to me. I sincerely hope that I remembered to greet and thank everyone else for their performances as they each autographed my poster. And I know for certain that Shauna signed my copy of her album. And I definitely remember getting a hug from Mitchell in front of the exit. So as I'm stumbling out of the House of Blues in my starstruck stupor, it's then that I realized that I didn't get Tessa's autograph on either my CD or my poster. Fortunately, they had announced at the end of that show that there would be an informal meet and greet session out by the fountain in front of the House of Blues. So I really had to make that opportunity count. And true to their word, all of them were out by the fountain a little after 4 in the afternoon. When it came time for Wolf Dude and I to get pictures taken with Tessa and Shauna, we agreed that we would get the other guy's stuff signed as we got our picture taken. So he goes first with my CD and poster to sign as I took their picture. Then it came time for my picture to be taken. Just as Tessa has finished signing Wolf Dude's poster, Disney personnel came, then announced to the crowd that gathered around that they weren't allowed to take pictures with or have autographs signed while on Disney grounds. Otherwise, we would all be thrown out. To say that I was disappointed would be a vast understatement. But I was not going to let this opportunity escape me without a fight. Naturally, I felt conflicted about the entire thing, because the last thing I wanted to be was the guy who got Mika Kitty and Nana Lou kicked out of Disneyland. However, I wanted, nay, I needed to have my picture taken with them. Long story short, this finally happened. I know, I look so frightened in these pics, but I assure you, I was beyond happy at this point. I was hoping to get more than just those two pics taken, because I wanted one of us doing the troll faces, and one of us doing the Mind Geek hand sign. But I was still running the risk of getting the both of them kicked off of Disney property. So we had to be quick like ninjas, and this is what I got away with. It really was the perfect end to a perfect day for me. The best concert show I have ever been to, hands down. I do have a few gripes that I need to get off my chest. That particular House of Blues had booked 2 shows for that day. The first being the Dial-Up Tour, the other being some other band that was playing later that evening. This is also why this particular show on the tour began so late in the morning, whereas all the other shows began early in the evening. The House of Blues' general attitude towards the performers is like they underestimated just how popular these YouTubers are. And speaking of mistreating the fans, Disneyland personnel, you're going to prevent internet celebrities from being internet celebrities with their fans. That's nice. No, it's not. That's not a dick move at all. Yes, it is. To Tessa, Shauna, Mitchell, Kyle, Alex, Jason, and Olin, if any or all of you are watching this, thank you so much for all the hard work you put into your content and material, all for the sake of entertaining your fans. That's the end of my review, and as promised, here's the Bacon song. Enjoy!
Across the land, this lack of bacon.